all, welcome back to Beanie's Hobbies, and in this video we're going to be unboxing this new Creality CR-200B and having a look around it. So, alright, let's get this thing unboxed and on the table. It's in quite a large, heavy box. I think this is fully assembled. So, in the top of the box, we have foam packing, and then we have the machine itself. Okay, well, first things first, we'll start off by saying this is an incredibly heavy machine. It's not the biggest of machines once it's out of the box, but it is incredibly heavy. So basically all that was in the box was just this machine, nothing else, just the packing. So the next job is to get out of this plastic cocoon that it's wrapped in. It's going to be easier said than done because it's actually sitting on it. Right, so here's the machine itself. Plastic doors, plastic construction on the outside, all plastic outside, metal frame on the inside. So let's start by removing some more of this packaging that's inside the printer so you can get a better look of what's going on inside. Okay, so we do come with small reel 200 grams of white PLA. We also have user manual and some package, the plastic lid that will end up sitting on top of the machine. Now also inside we have a brown box. Inside the brown box we have Phillips screwdriver, power cord, usual tools, spool holder, USB card, scraper, spare nozzle, tub of grease, very important to grease these machines up. I'm not quite sure why they're giving us a glue stick because this has actually got the coated glass bed, and we also have spare PTFE tubing. Now the side panels are just covered in plastic. Right, I think what we'll do now first is we'll get you guys off the tripod and give you another closer look at this machine, finish off putting like the spool holder on, unwrap the glass bed, and then we can take a look at the machine powered up. Right guys, so as you may notice that this is a fully enclosed printer, ideal for printing ABS, well, any of those filaments that require a lot more heat than PLA. So ideal for that. And it is a fairly large size printer. Now build plate wise though, we only have a build area of 200 by 200 by 200. Maximum extruder temperature is 260 degrees and maximum heated bed temperature is 100 degrees, so that will print ABS quite easily. We do have a filament runout sensor around the back of the machine. I'm telling you now, this is not the lightest of machines. So around the back here, you zoomed in a bit, we do have filament runout sensor. We do have a plastic extruder. Not the end of the world. I mean, I can easily swap that out for a metal one later on down the line. Now also around the back of the machine we have power input, and this hole here is where the spool, your spool holder, will fit, and that is all the assembly that is required on this machine. Job done. So moving back round to the front. Now on this right hand side of the machine we have power on and off. We also have full size SD card slot, and alongside that we have a USB, micro USB card slot. Now continuing our journey around this printer. Now at the bottom, let me just drop you guys down a bit. Now at the bottom down here we have a full colour touchscreen. Obviously closable door which is magnetic, so it will actually stay shut. Moving inside the printer. Now our build area, we do have Creality's usual style of large levelling knobs. I see that they have slightly changed the way that the build plate attaches. This is exactly the same as the way the CR6SE attaches, so you can just undo your clips and take your build plate off. At the back we do have a single lead screw at the back. Now obviously at the top we have our removable cover, so it's just literally just sitting behind these little clips on the four corners, so you can just squeeze it in and then you can just remove the top cover. And then the top here you can see our guide rails. Now it will be very important, that's where the tub of grease is supplied. We will need to grease all these rails up prior to our first use, because at the moment they are bone dry. So we'll need to grease them up first before we get this machine fired up. We do have, I'll show you guys, we have got a set of, that'll focus, we have got a set of LEDs running down here underneath this lip. Like I say, I'm loving the design I've gone for with these dots. Some really nice clean crisp lines. We've got this sort of diamond patterning, textured patterning all the way around the outside of the machine. Now I don't know how badly this is going to suffer from bed wobble like the Ender 5, but it actually seems quite stable, so I can't see that being much of an issue. There isn't anything like auto bed leveling or anything on this machine as of yet, so it's manual bed leveling, but with a build plate, you know, this size, I can't see that being much of an issue. You see we've got our stepper motor at the back there, but that's and the end stop switch is located in this back corner. Apart from that, that's the only things you can see. Everything else is all built in inside this machine. So what I think we should do next is get this thing powered up and go through the menus, see how noisy it is, see if we can get the bed level, and probably try some test sprints. So bear with me guys while we get this thing plugged in so we can have another closer look. Okay, so we've got our tub of grease. Now you don't need to go too mad, just a little bit on your fingers and just apply it to the rails. Just to help keep the bearings greased up. And then don't obviously forget you've got rails in this back part. And the same along the front. Obviously don't get grease all over your belts. Now I can feel that already loosening right up. And that's it guys. Alright guys, one more quick thing that I missed off from when we was looking inside. As these two vents in the back here have actually got fans in them, so that'll help extract any smells and stuff and throw them out of the back of the machine. Also help with heat transfer as well. So that's another little plus point. And obviously so the cooling on this print head as well, we've got the main fan here, and then we also have blower on the side aimed straight at the nozzle. So next job is we're going to get this thing fired up and see what the menu is like and try a test print. Now I will say guys, first impressions of the machine so far is actually quite good. Build quality is exceptional, everything is in place, everything seems to be working correctly. And obviously I'm not going to know that for sure until we have fired this thing up. So I think what we'll do first is fire it up, go through the settings. I think they're going to be exactly the same sort of settings you would see on like an Ender 5 Plus, CR-10S Pro V2. So let's get this thing fired up first and have a little look at the settings. So yeah, this is exactly the same as what I've got on my CR-10S. So we've got all the leveling, loading and unloading the filament, moving the build plate or the hot end. Obviously then we've got our temperature controls, and then our print controls. Now this is quite a nice large size touchscreen. It is a 4.3 inch touchscreen, so nice large size touchscreen. So what we're going to do next I think is get this thing warmed up and then get the bed leveled, load some filament into it, start a print and see what the print quality comes out like and see how noisy it is when it's printing. And they're quoting that this thing is ultra silent printing, so we shall find that out very shortly. But before I go ahead and home this machine, I want to drop the bed all the way down as far as it will go to make sure it's not going to crash into the nozzle, just in case, you never know. Okay, so let's start off by going settings, move, home. So as you can see, I've dropped the bed down, and it's quite a long way away from the nozzle, so that was fine. So the next thing I want to do is get this machine heated up, make sure all the heat's up correctly, and then we can get the bed leveled and try a test print. So while it's heating up, I will cut this video and we shall come back after it's heated up. Alright guys, so this machine has been heated up now. Well, it's actually heated up, it hasn't caught on fire, so must be a winner. Just one more quick thing to mention. Down here on the old touch screen, I was going through. Now obviously if we go into temp, we've got our automatic manual cooling. Also we have another one on the right here called device. So we click device, we then have the option of turning the LEDs that are located up here like I mentioned before. We can turn those on and off. We can turn the fan on and off, and also I mentioned about those two fans in the back of the housing. Now they've classed this as air change, so we can turn that on, which will then start up these two back fans. Not massively noisy, you can hear a little bit of noise coming from this hot end, from the fan on the hot end, slight little sort of whine. Back fans aren't making much noise at all, and they are extracting heat from inside the machine and exhausting that out the back. So next thing on the agenda, I have gone ahead and leveled the bed. I don't need to show you guys how to level a bed, you should obviously all know how to level a bed by now. Plus this is not the easiest of machines to bed level on, so I'd need to stand in front of the machine, so you wouldn't see a lot apart from my backside, and nobody wants to see that. So I have gone ahead and leveled the bed, which is easy enough. We have assisted, like I said, we don't have any auto leveling, but we do have assisted leveling. So the printer's now homing, so it will actually move the print head to the right spots for you, so you can then level it. So nice and simple and straightforward for the leveling. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run off a quick test print that's on the actual SD card itself. So I'm going to insert the SD card into the side of the machine. Now the SD card writing needs to be facing down towards the base of the machine. Right, so I have no idea what's on this SD card, I haven't actually looked. And we have we have 5 files on here now. I don't know what any of them are, so I am going to randomly pick a couple of these, print them off, feature them in this video, but then there'll be a follow-up video where also I'll print off some more larger items so we can have a better look at the print quality. But for now I'm just going to rattle off a couple of these test prints just to see how well this printer performs. Then I'll come back once I've done that, do a little follow-up, and that'll be the end of this sort of first impressions, first look at this new machine. So far my impressions on this are brilliant. I love it. I love the style of it, I love the look of it. I like the fact that it's all enclosed. It's kind of very similar to the Anycubic, I think it's the Formax range, where they've done their range of enclosed printers. I don't like those sort of printers. I don't like Anycubic as a brand very much. I've had a couple of bad printers from them, so that's kind of put me off them. I don't tend to use them anymore, so I stick with what I know best, and that is Creality. So anyway, that's enough of that waffle. Let's run a couple of test prints off and we'll come back with a little follow-up just to see what they come out like. Right guys, just quickly while it's printing, just what I do is you guys to hear the noise. It is whisper quiet. The only noise you can actually hear are the fans that are running. Now let's take you guys off this tripod. We can look in from the top. It is very, very quiet. Right, one more thing to mention. Now we can make adjustments while printing. So as you see there, we can baby step the Z. We can turn economic on and off. Now you want that turned off. If you leave that turned on, it will turn your heat bed off after a while. As you can see here, we have the option to turn LEDs on and off, the fan on and off. You can adjust your print speed, nozzle temperature, hotbed temperature, and then we can also turn those fans, extractor fans, on and off. Now one thing I will just mention with this printer, if you're printing with PLA, you won't want the top on. Okay, so you want to leave the top off if you're printing with PLA. Anything else that requires a lot more heat, you'll obviously want the top on. Anyway guys, I'm going to leave this to print and then I'll come back and show you what we ended up with. Alright guys, so I've just printed off a couple of little quick test prints that are actually on the SD card itself. And they have came out. So we get this to zoom. Came out remarkably, stay zoomed, remarkably well. Now obviously I will be doing more prints with this machine in a follow-up video. I'll probably put it for its paces. Just for now I just wanted to quickly print off a couple of little things, just to A, to make sure this printer was actually working, and B, just to check that the print quality was good. Let's move this camera back a bit. Let's just quickly go into that and just turn that LED light off. We should then be able to get a better view of this. So it's got a little winged dragon, and he has came out flawlessly. Print quality on this machine is absolutely amazing. I just love everything about this machine. I love the style, I love the shape, I just love the look of it. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic printer. Nice and quiet and silent printing. I mean, what more could you want? I can't fault it in any way, shape or form. I did have a quick look at the schematics for the actual main board in this printer. There is a connector on the board for BL Touch, and on the actual hot end itself, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you guys. At the back you can see there is actually a bracket on the back of the hot end which will actually accept a BL Touch, so it does look like this is compatible with auto bed leveling once Creality actually update their firmware for this printer. So it will be a very, very, very good printer then. At the moment it is a very, very good printer, but with a bit of auto bed leveling it will be even better. So I highly recommend this machine. Like I say, for now, this was just an unboxing and first impressions. Like I say, we just knocked off quick couple of, dropped it on the floor, didn't break. Just knocked off a quick couple of test prints that are actually on the card. Quality is absolutely fantastic. So, like I said, we'll be doing a follow-up video, so stay tuned for that one, guys, where we will print an array of different bits and bobs to put this thing through its paces. Anyway, that's it for me for now, guys. I hope you found this of use. Please subscribe if you can. I'm trying to grow the channel a bit more. Drop me a like. Any comments you want to put in the comment section down below, go for it. And I will catch you all in the next one. Cheerio!